Oh, hello everyone. It's I0386SX. I'm going to take a break from vintage computing today. Um, Before I get into this right now, some of the things you may see may not be resembling best practice. You may see some things that are radically unusual. You may see things that may make you outright cringe. You bear in mind that a lot of the setup that we're going to look over here today was set up according to specifications put forth by the business in question. And also do bear in mind that this is a production environment, so I am not going to make too many changes, if any, that may negatively affect that business. So what are we doing exactly? Well, you are staring at a server, which that brings me up to another disclaimer, that this particular system, I am promoted into it through TeamViewer, as you may be able to tell, and the best I can do for the screen resolution is 1024 by 768. At least that's what I believe here. We can try to make it a little bit bigger if at all possible. Well, we can. How about that? Let's try. Okay, so, well, that throws that disclaimer out the door. How about that? Maybe we'll just bring it all the way up. We'll undo our settings at the end of this. Okay, good. That actually helps me. So, yeah, this is a production server, so what we're going to review today, also, it's not going to be a full-on review, but it's going to be more like a looking back type thing and how this program is doing in year 4. Yes, year 4. And you may ask, why is there not an initial review video on OROPOS, which is the product we're going to be looking at? Well, very simple. I was not doing YouTube videos at that time. So when 2017, 2018, wherever we put this in, I was not active on YouTube, so therefore no active first impressions review, that type of thing. This is going to serve more as a how is it functioning in year 4, because there's not too much information about it. So let's dig in. Now, what does it take to run a POS system from 2018? Well, you need something that's running a modern operating system, either Windows or Linux, anything that can run Java. Yes, I know, that's going to be already a turnoff for some of you, and I'm not in love with the idea either, but you know what, we haven't had any issues with it to this point, and it's not version, you're not restricted to a certain version like so many things with Java can be. So that's, at least when they say patch immediately, we're at least able to do that. Now, a little backstory of why, part of the reason why we went with OROPOS is the claim that was made on its free version, Floric POS. That's definitely more of a well-known name in the community. And one of the things, the big promise that it had was 90-second setup, very easy to use. So I took that to heart, and so you know what, we'll give this a try, we'll see where it goes, and it seemed like it went over good. And it was at the time, there was no cloud solution available for it, which didn't matter because the business in question did not have any, they had some really crummy internet, so going cloud there would have been a bad idea regardless. When I first took over the operations, the IT operations, to call it a mess would be kind, would be an insult to the word best. The current POS solution was Chromis POS. Now, I don't know much of anything about Chromis, but I know it was running on a really old Dell Optiplex system that couldn't handle it. And even worse, and probably the worst of it all, there was absolutely no backups of any kind going on. And I don't care how big or small your business is, if you don't have any backups, you are playing with fire. And if you were a business owner or general manager, you say, hey, we don't need the backups, guess what? I'm walking. I don't want that liability. Have fun. I can't do it. So anyway, fortunately, it was able to address most of those issues. The owner hated Chromos POS, so we had to start over, and backups were going to happen if I were going to continue. Backups happened. So what you're actually staring at here is a Hyper-V box. By today's standards, definitely POB spec, but see, yeah, this is an Intel Xeon. I gave it 4 cores, so it's a E5620, and just 4 gigs of RAM, 64-bit operating system, Windows 10, nothing crazy. Yeah, that was one of the things we did for this business. I had a HP ProLiant DL380 Gen 7. It was like, let's throw a few VMs on there, we'll make an AD controller, file server, and we'll just back it up every night. And this setup has worked largely great for the 4.5 years or so. Now, you'll notice on the server, there's a couple of programs you may not see typically on a server. You have dbeaver, which is basically the open source variant of SQL Management Studio. And correct me if I'm completely wrong on that or off base on that. That's a great way to work with Derby servers. And then there's a really interesting program below that, which is not exactly a program, but if you notice it's called authorized.mm macro. I'll get into that a little later, why that's on here. That's one of the biggest issues we've had with this software. So, now let's get into it. I think I blabbed enough about the introductory and whatnots, so I will get right into it. So how do you get to this program? Well, that all depends on how you have it set up. In the case of this business, we went with a Derby server. This wasn't best practice, but by the time we were able to get everything together, not the faults of Orocube, but by the time we were able to get everything together, we were already using this, and we just went and told them, hey, if it becomes a problem, we'll figure it out in the off season. So yes, so you have this Apache Derby network server. It's a batch file that always sits up running, and it's been doing that for the last 4.5 years without issue. Now I'm going to browse to the directory where this is located. So in my case, it says OROPOS 1.4.138.6. And this batch file just points to this. So let's run it. You bear in mind, it does take a little bit with Derby, no matter if you have a brand new database or not. At least that's been my experience with Derby. They did recommend MySQL or PostgreSQL. What the? Hold on a minute. I don't think we're in the right one. Let's close out of this real quick. I think we're in the wrong place here. Hopefully we won't mess anything up. That's task. I may have went to the wrong folder. Hold on a minute here. This is just weird. We went to the wrong. I'm pretty sure that's the right folder. Okay, so we were using 1.4.130.4. My bad. Concept's the same. It loads a Java window up. I think we tried to upgrade to that and it failed, and I just gave up. And if you're using Derby, you just gotta have a little bit of patience, that's all. And there it is. So you're up. And for those that are generally curious, let's go to our directory here. And how big is this directory? It serves 6 POS terminals, including the server, which, other than myself, no one's ever really went on the server. And there's a back office machine that you can run reports on. Which you can use it as a POS system, but nobody ever does. So really, this is 4 POS terminals that are actively used, 1 bar, 3 store. How big can we get? The folder size in total, 373, 374 megs. So let's go to the database. Let's see what we can come up with that. So 249 megabyte database. Not bad at all. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to configure the database. Well, we're not really going to do that, but we're just going to look at our options. So this is, mind you, this is from 2018, so this could have been improved. Some of these options could have been taken away. So this Derby single is very similar to Derby server, except for one obvious difference is that the single can only be tied to one system. The server can go multiple. And then you have your 2 recommended solutions according to Orocube at the time, which would either be MySQL or Postgres. The MS SQL server option did exist, but they didn't really like it too much at the time, and despite their direction, I did try to use it anyway, just because I was a little bit more familiar with that SQL. And although I got it to make a database and everything, it just wasn't stable. OROPOS always had to crash at random places. There was missing references, and I have a feeling that this was more of a beta test type thing, or it was a brand new feature and it hadn't quite got figured out yet. The good news is that Orocube is still thriving. They're doing good. They're doing good. They're doing well, whatever you want to call it. Their help desk is very active. Because not too long ago, I did have a hard drive go out on one of their tills, then rebuild from scratch, and I had to get a license filed. I had it within a minute. They said, you know what, give us 3 to 12 hours. Well, how about 5 minutes? Can't argue with that, right? So yes, we've been using, back to databases, we've been using the Derby server, and as you can tell, it's just running just fine. Once you're in, generally, you're not going to have problems. So first thing is first, we're going to log in. We're going to clock in, because you cannot do much of anything if you're not clocked in. This is something I learned, or at least paid attention to. This can be used as your time and attendance system. This client did not do that. Anywho, we'll assign a drawer. And like I said, a little bit of, you're going to see random things that are blurred out for a reason. If there is any discernible information, the world will not see it. So admin S is me, so I'm going to go into this drawer. I'll do a drawer bounds of 0, because, well, there's not really a cache drawer connected to it. That's one of the non-traditional things that we did, at least according to Orocube, is non-traditional. So, yeah, nice and easy. They have a bar side. And I'm not going to go too nuts into this just because, well, that's not relevant to most of you. And you can do groups. Oh yeah, if you're a pizza shop and you want a fairly inexpensive POS solution, Orocube is one I take a real long, good look at. I think all in all, and I don't know what their prices are, we'll find out together. But in 2018, I want to say that this ran for about $5,000, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Actually, in fact, I can look this up while we're waiting. I am very, very curious now what this cost in 2018. All right, here we go, regarding. Nobody hands up. Oh, here we go. This should tell us what our invoice is. Yeah, this was actually pretty cheap. They did give us a discount. Yeah, so I don't know what the cost is today, but as of May 15th, 2018, this system, the POS terminals, including a floor plan, inventory, an OROPOS-The, the customer plug-in. There was a PayPal fee. We used PayPal. It cost us almost $3,400 USD. So that's a United States $3,400, just about, a little less than that. If it's still anywhere near that, you can't go wrong. You get full support for a year and maybe more than that. I mean, and you can run this on basically anything with a touch screen and printer and capture and shoot. Can't go wrong. Although if you do want a total hands-off solution and you're in my neck of the woods in the Wisconsin area, you want something you want to be totally hands-off with it, there's a, I can't think of the name of the place anymore, but it's a place over in Bondwell. The ECR cash register, they're another good one too, that if you want to be totally hands-off with everything, like, hey, you add the buttons, you do this, they're a real good place too, and I think they're pretty inexpensive. And we got drink items, and we got miscellaneous items. Pretty straightforward. Ticket's empty. Let's get out of here. Now, this is a thing that didn't go smooth. You'll notice there's a store and a store new. Well, somewhere in 2019, the owner decided, well, I don't want the bar side to see the store and vice versa, so rather than screw with the store side, we just made a store new. And why it's bringing up bar stuff, I don't know, but to be fair, I haven't been in here in a long time up to this point. I mean, since 2020, I've distanced myself. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Not a whole lot of stuff there. Now, maybe it was the bar didn't want to see the store side. I'm not sure. But anyway. It actually looks kind of nice. It's nice and simple. Now, let's see what the buttons do. So yeah, if you have an order, you can 86 an order. You can refresh buttons if you add. I don't know what this button does. Yeah, so we got kitchen display, table manage, customer monitor, gift card. We did absolutely nothing with that stuff, so I'm not going to focus on it because I don't know it and I can't make a fair, honest review about it. Let's see what that button does. Okay, so that button gives you your open tickets. Now, do bear in mind, if you're using Derby and you have a lot of open tickets, it could take a very long time. So just fair warning on that. No, I don't want to close. I don't want to close in that particular sense. Hold on. Okay, we need to do that. Yeah, there's a lot of tickets in here, but that's, like I said, I'm doing this just for a review standpoint, and I'm not paid to clean that up, so I'm not worried about it. So let's go back to where I was before. I don't know why on earth they can't do that now. Wait, we go back to store. Can that work? There we go. Yeah. And I don't know what that button. And that button allows you to do the cash drawer stuff. Now, let's get into some of the abnormalities of the system here, at least in terms of what we had to do to make things work. We'll get into that right now. Now, you'll notice that there's a button in the payments world. This was the most interesting piece of it. Chalk it up to a rookie mistake on my part, or owner's part, or even maybe Orocube. I don't know, but it doesn't matter at this point. I mean, we got something that works, and that answers the question of, if you were to accept credit cards at your establishment, does it need to be integrated with the system? The answer is no. We started that way, then we went off of that. Now, owner was pissed that some money, she couldn't recover all her money, so that's what started that. So, now some of you that have some weird owners or delusional owners, we all watch Kitchen Nightmares, and there's some real delusionals out there, but you'll notice that the credit card button is missing. Well, hold on here. is... Alright, this is interesting. Payment? No. Okay, so I am trying to figure out why we'll do this. Alright, let's cancel out of here for a second. Maybe we are in a part that may not have that button. Alright, that reminds me of another thing too. I mean, it's how this established it was entering credit card before this POS system in here would make even the worst of the security folks cringe, or even bartenders alike, is they had to go to a website, go through a bunch of hoops to type in a credit card number. We kind of got something working in 2017. We could authorize that, and that sent to scanners, like, hey, we'll log into the website, put the card in, it'll print the tip line, whatever, here you go, have fun. So it wasn't, so we took a completely broken thing and we made it less broken. That's all we did until this system was in. It was the end of the year, end of the season when I got thrown into this. But we got credit card machines. All right, so let's go to do. Let's see what we got now. Now on our system here, you notice that I went to other, I went to card. So basically what I had to do, get around this problem, which I'll explain in a little bit, is I had to make a custom card button. If you have a integrated credit card button, then it'll show up on the right as a card. I'm not going to press this because it's going to initiate a transaction, which I am not going to do. I'm just going to get out of this and see if I can get out of it. Yes, I want to avoid this order because I don't want to do anything with it. So there's that. Alright, so on to my little story here. So, come Memorial Day weekend, we got the credit card readers, I put them in, everybody was busy. It's a very busy time of year, Memorial Day weekend up here. It's probably one of the busiest times of the year for most of these businesses. So, we put them in, it's like, oh, here you go, have fun. And this is the part where I didn't know about credit card readers or certain ones. You have to go into the program, and one, you have to tell if there's tips, you have to enter them into this program. But secondly, the POS, the credit card readers that Orocube sent over did not automatically batch, or I didn't understand it enough to tell them, hey, this is what we have to do. And this went on for about a month, and then where's all my money? Was the question that was brought up by the owner. Well, shit. And there they are. There's all your transactions sitting in the POS system. And the credit card reader, oh, they're not in there anymore, so we can't push them. It took weeks to get the vast majority of the money back, because we were on the phone with whoever they use for a credit card processor, trying to get as much of that money back. And you know how that goes. You know, if you got a card that doesn't run at the time, you got insufficient funds issues, or oh no, person's deceased, and number of things can happen why you can't recover the payment, especially if it's a month later. You just, or even like say, oh, I don't know, I don't recognize this charge, I'm going to fight it, and banks will typically side with the customer. So, yeah, that is why we quickly, well, it wasn't my decision. I'm a neutral party. That's why they were the credit card integration part of OROPOS was quickly removed after that. And they went with a local company, and it's like, you know what? You still have to enter them in the POS system to make things match up. But at the end of the day, we told our employees, hey, look, make sure you get your tips entered into the reader. It's going to, whatever's in there is going to be automatically sent over at the end of the day. If you can't get it, well, too bad, so sad. And I haven't heard any issues since. So, that was a very interesting part. Now, until that point where we got the local company to do the credit cards. That is where this authorized.net, that's where this mouse macro program came into play. This was sitting at 1024 by 768 pixels. So I literally kept the POS program open at all times on this screen. And I spent an hour or two programming it. So I want to do this. I literally move the mouse like so. And okay, you move the mouse over to where the secret key goes. And I had moved the mouse to open tickets and whatever was in there. There was a button to close them all out. Let's see what's in here. There must be a lot of open tickets because this is taking a while. Yeah, that one. Hope we didn't break this. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of tickets in here. Now, I'll be honest, I don't remember which option I selected. I either did the settle all or close all. So long as the employees entered their tips in properly, we'll just use this one here. I don't know if this will work. Yeah, they threw the tip in here. Yeah, gratuity. So whatever the gratuity is, they entered that in, and then they hit whatever button. It was either the cash or the credit, whatever they need to do still. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to mess with the production system. And whatever I did, I just did the transfer all or settle all. It was one of the two, and whatever's in there was in there. So yeah, that was a fun little fiasco to fix. And on top of that, I mistakenly said, let's try HughesNet and see where it took us. And we went places, not good places, but we went places. So let's exit out of there. So that was one of the biggest issues I came across with this program was the credit card integration. Now, it could be a lot better today. I'm not honestly sure. And we're not going to renew this just for the sake of, well, there's a change at the head here that's beyond my control. So business is going to be gone soon. So if you have no business, there's no sense of renewing it. So how do you get to the heart of the program? Well, that's where this back office comes into play. I'll show you pet peeve number 2. I'm going to go to users and show you what it's all about. Now, you'll see that a lot of this is going to be grayed out just because that's personal information. I don't want that getting out. So if we go to create a new user, okay, so we do all that. And I don't think it's even legal to ask for that social security number, but whatever. And this is the part that drove me absolutely crazy. When it came time to create a password, or a secret password, whatever you want to call it. I don't think I have to do it. I hope you can hear this, but I'm typing in there and nothing is happening. I have to generate a key, and I have to use its passcode and hope I remember it. This is supposedly fixed in the newer versions, so yeah, this was something that drove me crazy in this variant of this program, was that I could not put a code in here at all. It just didn't work. You just had to use whatever it came up with. But I believe that's fixed, and that is something we can verify at the end of this video. That I do have the newer version. So store configuration, very simple, although you're not going to see that part because I grayed it out. Terminal configuration. And you just give it a name, and you have to select has a cash drawer. Whether it has one or not, if you're accepting money of any kind, you have to select that option. I got receipt printer. This is where you put your receipt printer in. In my case, I don't have one on the server, so I just use the print PDF. Now here, if you were using a credit card processor provided by OROPOS, this is where you would go configure it. And we had packs at the time, apparently. It's all coming back to me now. And once you do all your settling and stuff, this is it's going to communicate with whatever your PAX terminal is, and if you test it, it should just respond. This is going to fail because those are long gone. And database we've already covered. And here you have to tell it, if you're accepting money of any kind, you have to tell it that it has a cash drawer. If you don't have this checked, you're not taking cash. But here's where it's interesting. So we have a non-traditional setup. OROPOS and possibly others, they have a little device that connects in a form of a serial port. You hook your cash drawer up to it, which I bought some eBay specials, and they've worked great for 4 years. So, and the systems that I were used to, the cash drawers were connected to the receipt printer, and as soon as it printed out, here's your receipt. And this solution has largely worked. I say largely because there is one little problem that does come up. But regardless, this has to be checked. And if you were to do this by the book, the good news is the device that pops open the cash drawer, it is USB, $15 on Amazon. I don't think they're much more for that if you get them from the company. So, gift card. This is something we did not use, but they do have a gift card gateway. And I'm sure if you bought the license, there's probably something else that pop up here, and you can swipe or put the card in manually. I'm sure like the Meg strip cards or those Meg Tech readers will work just fine. You can do kitchen displays, although I'm not going to cover much of the next 2-3 tabs because we didn't use them. Yeah, you can email receipts. You put your settings in there. And this is where the credit card piece is not a traditional setup. Because the card payment button is hidden because this particular one that's checked, this is if you were integrating with the system. We haven't for 3 years. So I just made one just called card. No big deal. Worked great. You just got to understand how things work. And this has a few terminals that I don't recognize, but I think that's part of the sample data. I think that's we just started with sample data and just kind of just worked our way there. I can tell you right now, unless it's been fixed, of course, put your taxes in there, which I always says 0%, and this is the way she wanted it set up, so I don't ask questions. That was documented that it was set up that way. So, yes, so migrate database, migrate from OROPOS, import menus from Excel. Absolutely none of these work whatsoever. So, here we go. So, now let's add something in. We got, and here we go again, pizzas in here. So, yeah, if you run a pizza shop, really give this system a good long look. And you can kind of tell where I'm leading towards by review of this. But here, to add your item, we're going to look. I'm trying to think of what I know for sure you've used. Well, judging by the inventory here, I'm going to say that 16-ounce beer is one of those things. At one point, somebody did try to put barcodes in it. They did have barcode readers at these systems, and they eventually just pulled them out because it was too much of a pain to do. 350, no big deal. I thought there was I think here. And unit per piece, beverage group, report group. Alright, that's okay. So there's our beer. It's under the drinks category, I believe. Well, it's under the beverage group. Food, ice cream. Right, so menu category. So we got food, drinks, store items. And beverage invisible. So okay, that's easy enough. I wonder how half of this even worked. So do forgive me. I am trying to get reacquainted with this program. Yeah, you can tell which ones they added and which ones came with it, because, yeah, the candy, anything with a 999 on it was likely added by the business. Yeah, there is absolutely no way they don't have any chicken special there. Yeah, this is all stuff that I think came with it. So I could have sworn there was something that I told it what pages it could show up on and which ones it shouldn't. Maybe the beer is a bad example here. Let's look for a shirt. Let's look for a t-shirt. And it's under the apparel group, so this shows a little bit more. Same old vanilla button type thing, you know, no big deal. This might be a group thing. No, I have no idea. Page designer. Okay, so there's food, drinks. You can add new pages as you need. Yeah, they kept it really simple with this. And I'd be honest, I didn't use most of this stuff, so it's, you know, pizza's what this, that's all came with the sample data. You can even put images on your buttons, and I didn't even bother to do any of that, so I can't honestly make a review on it one way or another. And you have some basic reporting. We'll just go through one quick and we'll see what happens. Now, this is going for the whole month of August, so let's search it out, and yep, and that tells you exactly what is all sold. And I'm not going to scroll down. Well, I don't have to because it's on over 6 pages. It tells you how many things were sold. People like their mixed drinks. They like their beer. Well, who doesn't? Yeah, so that firewood. Let's pull up that tab. So some basic reporting capabilities within. Let's see what we got here. Oh, go. Yeah, this just puts it by category. So yeah, drinks and food are the big ones there. That's all they made. Oof, that's a big oof. Yeah, if you use the time and clock system, you got employee attendance reports, and I'm sure this is going to be a million ways out of whack because, yeah, kind of. Not going to see any of this page because it does have personal information on it, so I'm just going to back out of there. Now, floor plan and Oro customer and inventory, I'm not going to cover. Very simply put, I don't know anything about them. Those are add-ons that we thought we were going to use, but it just nothing ever came out of it. So I can't review it honestly. So I apologize to those over at Orocube. I honestly can't say how easy or tough it was to use those, or even if it was any good. So back office is where most of the world lives, and not too many things to go through there. So that was one of the big points, that the program was easy to use. And eventually, a lot of those menu items I didn't do. I mean, that was done by bartenders and young teenagers and, well, late teens. They had to be over 18 to work there, but then again, they had some very smart bartenders, so I don't know if I could. I'm not going to say I'm going to insult any bartenders here, because that would be out of line if I did. But my point is, you don't have to be an IT expert in order to use this system. That's the point I'm trying to draw at. So, in fact, one of the bartenders used to be there. I mean, I think she did better describing IT problems than some of my IT people did, but that's a whole other story for another day. Orders and driver view, you may see, we did not use them. So, I will say, I don't want to quite call it the Ferrari, but we'll call it the Corvette. So we're basically using the Corvette like a Kia here, but for what little we did use it for, hey, what, it's been problem-free, it's been trouble-free. So I can't complain. Now, at this point, maybe it's time to get a little bit more memory in this box if we were to continue on with it, but it is what it is at this point. And like I said, the Office program was on there because we had to go pull out credit cards that didn't get processed properly. And then there was a point of, well, the POS system didn't see them in the reader, so it didn't clear out. So that's where DBeaver came into play. And their customer support gave us, okay, go clear this table, and everything will be good to go again. We don't like it, but it's a nuclear option. So let's go pay a visit to our good friends over at Orocube. They're an American company. They are based out of Georgia, as you can tell. I think they were in the process of moving when we first got introduced to them. And if you go try to find the free variant of Florence, I think it all goes through here now. Yeah, so to download a product, this is a lot more established. I mean, you use it for food trucks, and yeah, Florent POS is now part of this. And OROPOS is like the professional version. And to really do much of anything at all, you have to give out your information, email address and name, and that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do it, so I already got it. Because I actually did that yesterday. Alright, so it definitely looks like the price of this went up quite a bit. But let's be real, everything went up. Now, look at that. So, the good news is there's still a deep discount. At least from what I can tell. So, we'll do 1440 divided by 6. Maybe not. And I may be doing this completely wrong, and if anybody over at Orocube sees that, oh, we don't need the probe. Oh, hold on a minute. Maybe that's what we thought. Okay, so I'm glad I went through this, because the OROPOS Pro covers every those plugins we had, and maybe that's where the discount come into play. Okay, that's not a bad price, so it's not that much more than what it was before. So we got the 251712. So that don't seem like it's cheaper. So yeah, they definitely streamlined some stuff here. So that was real nice of them to do that. But do bear in mind, this cost is, no, I take that back. This cost is annual. This 251712 is an annual cost. What we got years ago was for 5 years. So there is a long-term solution, but it's only available to resellers and distributors only. So apparently they have a nice, they upgraded for themselves, so that was nice. And you could even go with a monthly subscription. And this may be up your alley if you only got like a business that's only operational 3 months a year. Maybe you need something for a couple weeks. Although I personally would say probably screw it and go with Florent, but let's see what they got. Yeah, so Florent itself is still free, and it's only available on annual payment plan. So you got the inventory, the floor plan, and the credit card payment plug-in. So where we were earlier, this would fix that problem. So yeah, that's and here, if you really want to go look at the differences between two pieces of software, you know, this you can look at it at your own time. But I am curious. Yeah, purchasing hardware is, and it will run on any operating system with support to Java 8. It will require 1024 by 786, which is an odd. Yeah, nothing crazy in the specs. So one of the things I want to do, I'm not seeing it, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. I want to look at their hardware. Let's just do that. Yeah, so you can buy the POS terminals from them. We did not, because we had all-in-one touchscreen computers. We just literally just added the Epson TM-T88V and some $40 cash drawers to them, and we just converted them that way. Works great. But they do have their terminals, which it does not specify pricing, but I do like that they do put the model numbers on there. That does show some resemblance of transparency. You have barcode labels, and they can buy the cash drawers from them. Yeah, this is the device I was talking about earlier. The cash drawer trigger is a way to go if you go according to their best practice. You got caller IDs, and I know I'm going through this really fast. You got barcode scanners, which you use almost anything. And it looks like these Ageticos look awfully familiar. Oh, yep. I take that back. This is, I believe this is the same exact one they had years ago. Yes, and, oh, that's the better part. The last guy was trying to make the credit cards read through one of these unencrypted bag stripe readers. That wasn't going to work the way he had it. It was never going to work. Probably why he got fired. But yeah, to wrap things up here, or at least an attempt to wrap things up, would I recommend Orocube for a small business? The answer is yeah, absolutely. I'm sure those bulk deals that, even though the prices went up, it's still a very versatile product. It doesn't require much resources. Now, I believe they do have a cloud solution now. Could be very much wrong on that one, but we'll see. And let's see, hard drive runs offline, connects cloud. Yeah, so it looks like they do have a cloud solution now. So that's oh, there you go. Point of sale, hardware fix, POS live, bundled with. I wonder what the live version is. I'm just curious. e-commerce, integrated credit card processing. Yeah, Florida's still free, but you just got to register for it. Online order, so self-order kiosks. So yeah, they have really stepped up their game here. And for something that's a smaller business and where their humble beginnings, I can't be mad at it. So it gets a thumbs up for me. So the last thing I'm going to do before I get into this any further whatsoever, well, we're going to enable Acrobat for Chrome apparently. We're going to see if the 90-second thing is even remotely true. Now I'm going to unzip the file and put it to a directory. We'll do all that fun stuff, and we'll see if this is any true, if there's any semblance of truth there. So that's going to be done. Let me get the environment set up, and then we will continue on with our lovely little video. But as far as our production environment is, we are done with that. So I am going to, doke. We are now almost there. One little thing I forgot to do. We need some kind of stopwatch. Well, that makes it nice and easy. Come on, Chrome, or whatever. Okay. Nope. That is one hell of a crappy website. Oh, hold on. We got so that's even better. Okay, we're going to start right now. We are going to, oh, this is OROPOS. Okay, hold on here. I was going to do it with Florent. Now I got version 1.5, so we're over there. I can tell you right now, if we were doing this from extraction of installation file to this, we are going to be well over the 90-second startup time, but oh well. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we're in. So let's start. We'll go with the setup. Logically, it makes sense. So we're going to run anyway. And we're going to go as far as we're going to go Derby server. And because I know this, we're going to start the server. Test it again. That's better. And we'll create new. That's fine. Yep. That's looking better. And we are approaching 1 minute. It's giving me a password to use, so I can't hardly get that. Let's cancel this, see what happens. So now let's load the POS system for real. Let's see what happens. This stupid protect the PC thing. Oh. And we will continue to POS. And like I said, this is a brand new database, so and you can tell it's taking its time to do this even. So, and we're just going to continue. We're 1 minute 40 seconds about, and by the time I hee-hawed around with the Microsoft security stuff, I'm going to say it's damn close. So, and it could be if you use Derby Signal, there's probably even less problems in terms of making the 90 seconds. Let's just go take a look. Yes, let's get checked in. Oh, sure, whatever. 28 tables. Sounds good to me, right? Okay, that's cool. See if there's any food on the menu. Yeah, vanilla yogurt, mozzarella stick, cocoa squeeze, Caesar salad, cheap Caesar salad. We are going to eat Janet N. Setup user is not clocked in. Okay. I think it's going to be this one. No. Yeah, well, regardless, I'm not going to go mess too much with it, but yeah, that does prove the point. The 90 seconds is not far off, so that's kind of what I wanted to prove with that. So, yeah, that's going to pretty much do it for my little 4-year overview of OROPOS system and Orocube overall. Like I said, they are still very much active, and they're still very much alive, so good for them. And I know it's not a full-on review, but, you know, if you have any questions or comments or constructive criticism, you feel free to drop in the comments section. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to... Hold on, folks. I want one more thing. I almost forgot. I wanted to see if that passcode thing was fixed. I did get a copy of OROPOS 1.55. It is taking its sweet time. I don't know what database it's using. It might be... Oh, that's kind of nice looking. Yeah, this is a Derby single. And it's still the same 5 databases. So that part, very little of that part has changed in a few years. So, what is it? Oh yeah, back office. Let's see. Let's see if we can change our user passcode to whatever we wanted. And we got pictures, and no offense, guys, but I understand it's a sample database, but those pictures gotta go. Nobody wants to see half a face. Oh, well, at least we got the full face now, so. Okay, so we can view the password. There it is. Or we can create one. And I am just going to make one of all 8s. Yep, so that works like a charm in this new version, so. That's good. I had to test that. That is one of the gripes that I got from local staff. Alright, let's see if Florence still has that limitation in it or not. We got a little bit of time. I'm sure this video is a hour-and-a-half mess anyway, so we might as well see. QoS. And we're just going to continue. Yes, so we're going to go to back office. I'm going to suspect it probably isn't. What the heck? I don't need that. Alright, that's not... Yeah, and Florent, you have significantly less menus, and you got the Explorers. Not much there. The reports are about the same, but... Alright, so back to my thing that I was going to do. Paul Bryan, we are going to edit you. Yeah, you could just create one in this, so that's kind of nice. So, okay, yeah, so in the new Florent, you can change that. So, okay, thank you for fixing that, guys. So, okay, for real this time, said this is not a full-on review because we did use the Corvette like a Kia, but you know, if you have any questions or comments or constructive criticism, feel free to leave them in the comments section. If Orocube is watching, you know, leave me something and tell me what you think. I'd love to talk to you if there's anything you don't agree with, and well, even though this business is about to be gone, you know, I am all ears, and at the end of the day, I'm here to help people. So thank you again for watching, and